So here we go, the first official Nichol nose review. And what we're reviewing today is the Audi A5. This is actually my sales car, the car I take home after work every day and I have on my day off, like today. It is the Audi A5 1.4 petrol engine. 1.4. And what do we think of that? That is a small engine. It is what it is. But that doesn't mean that this drives like a small engine car. And the reason behind that is the gearbox. So this isn't about the 1.4 engine at all. It's all about the gearbox and how wonderful it is and what it does for this car. It is literally the backbone of this car. It is the spine. It holds everything that this car needs. And it's just bloody wonderful. Dual clutch, S-tronic, 7-speed, mint. It's so flawless and fluid that without looking at my gear changer, you know, my indicator on my lovely virtual cockpit, you don't know when you've upshift and downshift unless you're paying attention to what noise your engine's making. And even then, it's so well rehearsed that it doesn't scream at you, which was my concern with it being a small engine. I was worried it's going to be dead, like, you know, tinny and whiny without being whiny in a good way. The reason why the S-tronic works so well is because on your two gear rods you have your evens on one side and your odds on your other. If you're in gear 4, on the other rod, gear 3 and 5 are already rotating, so you're never starting from square one. There's always some momentum being built, even in the gears that you haven't engaged yet. So when you do fall into place, which takes less than a fifth of a second, you're just straight back onto it. There's no sort of like delay or dip or lag or whatever you want to call it. It is just fluid. And with that being said, even though the engine only has 150 PS or 143 brake horsepower, however you want to say it, because the gearbox is so well rehearsed, you wouldn't think it's a 1.4 unless I just told you. And I think that's really something that we need to kind of give the nod to on Audi's half, because it's very easy to get an engine wrong. If you had the R8 engine, for example, a V10 naturally aspirated, 610 PS, but it was in a car with a terrible gearbox, then it wouldn't be the monster that it is. And using the flappy paddles, you can drive this car like it's a 2 litre. Yes, it doesn't, you know, take the skin off your face, but it still holds its own. But noting the flappy paddles is the only downside. And it's not because of how they work, it's just how they feel. They feel so like numb. There's nothing there. You listen. It's like when you see a kid try to click for the first time and they use that finger, but it doesn't actually make any sort of contact, it's just a rubbing noise. That's all it is. I don't want them to be made out of carbon fibre, like aluminium or anything. Save that for RS, save that for S. Limited production, whatever. But I just want them to feel a bit more. I just want it like to give me a little bit more back. So when I shift, I want it to be a bit more panache. The thing I like about this car is the way it is kind of composed. And I don't mean how it's built in terms of drive shafts and all the other stuff. I just mean like how it feels in your hands. It has that flexibility. It's light without being too flimsy. It's rigid without being rock hard. Where you point the steering wheel is where the car goes, and I find that incredibly endearing. People talk a lot about understeer and oversteer and all the other bits that people pretend like they know what they're talking about, and unless you're on a track, you really don't get that. So we need to look at these cars as road cars, as they're meant to be. So now I'm doing 30 mile an hour, back in automatic drive, and the car is just carrying me forward so beautifully. I'm currently in dynamic drive, which in Audi's driving personalities is the stiffest. So what that does for you as the driver is it gives you a little bit more to work on the steering. And I like that, I like stiffer steering. But when you're in comfort mode, which is the opposite end of this spectrum, unless you're driving at 20 mile an hour, it's really hard to tell the difference. It kind of feels like you're in a mode for a little bit of time and then it just becomes normal, like normal mode. You kind of forget, and if it isn't in red or green or white in front of you, you don't really notice what's going on, which is a bit of a shame. But that's more of a blanket message about Audi Drive Select than this car in particular. I like, even though I'm driving at sort of 25 mile an hour now, I know that the car is ready to go forward if I needed to. And again, it just goes back to that gearbox. They are so clever, these gearboxes. Outrageously clever. Like, I'm in manual shift now. Knocks the stick over the left, permanent manual. Don't get me wrong, the car will look after me if I'm over or under rev and it's going to do any damage to the engine. But it's just so ready. And it revs for days. It is just... it's like a puppy after it's had a good sleep. It just wants to go. But once it's had its fun, if you're not in the mood for fooling around anymore, then this is quite happy just to sit and chill out. I'm gonna fight the corner that Audi are winning the interior game. Oh, there it is. No doubt about it. Audi have got their interiors nailed. Virtual cockpit. It's been on the road for 4 years now. Yet every time you get in it, it's like, wow, this is the future. Look, I've got my maps in front of us. Look at this. Oh my god, it's Google Earth. There's pictures of trees. It's like, it shouldn't be as important as it is, but another year goes by and everyone still talks about it. Same with the rear indicators, sweeping rear indicators. You won't see them when you're driving your car, yet everybody wants them. Because it's different. Foot gently down, don't floor it all the way up to fifth. Going into this really quite a sharp right hand. And this is what I mean. This isn't designed to feel like a sporty car. Apart from aesthetics, this is an everyday cruising around, do what you need to do. But you can use it how you would use an S or an RS. Yes, it doesn't have the performance or the feel of it, but it's not that car. It isn't designed to be. See that there, that gentle push, that wasn't very hard on the accelerator. And it just sounds and feels much more than it is. I didn't tell you this was a 1.4 at the beginning of the video. You probably just wouldn't have guessed. Would I buy this car? Definitely. It would definitely be on my list of cars I would consider buying. So you have it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Would love to hear your feedback. Whether it's about the car, whether about a video, don't really mind. Get involved. Drop us a line. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.